Do you think that if Tim was into Rose Tattoo that he would have become the Randy Trask to Sebastian Bach?
He would.
He would have absolutely traveled all over Australia to follow Angry Anderson.
That's funny that you brought that up because I told that story to a coworker this week.
Oh, about Randy?
About Randy chasing Sebastian to what, like Nashville, and they took his backstage pass away from him.
That was funny.
He was all dejected and everything.
Dude, I was telling some behind the scenes stuff yesterday to John, and I don't know, did I tell you the story? I don't know if I told it on air or not. It's funny to tell on air. Randy probably won't love it, but did I tell the full story about when Randy was here with Michael Hannon and Rob?
Yes, you told that about how Michael was just about ready to belt him because he's like, dude, what the fuck is your deal?
But did I talk about when he was asleep?
Yes.
That was so funny. He just kept falling asleep, and then I would bang on the desk, and he would like snap awake. But meanwhile, I had turned his microphone off.
Yeah, and he acted like it was still part of the conversation, and acted like he wasn't asleep and everything.
And he'd be like, adjusting the microphone like he was getting into the thing, and then he'd fall right back to sleep. So good. I had so much fun that night. It wasn't even funny.
Well, that night that I was there for your book release party a little over almost a year ago.
Yeah.
When he was rambling on about all kinds of shit, and we were telling that whole transgender person being thrown into Gen Pop and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And he was going on his philosophies and everything.
Randy is one of those cats I don't know how you did a show with him every week. That I'll never.
Well, it wasn't every week, but the times that we were with, I mean, he would just go on a tangent. It's like, dude, how is this relatable?
But I love having Randy on once in a while. First of all, Randy's one of my favorite people ever. I love that cat, man. I mean, I could tell, dude, stories after story after story about him and how you've been with. Have you ever? I wonder if you probably haven't. You've never gone with him when he didn't have passes and worked your way backstage with him, have you?
Yeah, I did one time.
He's a master at that.
He is.
And you go back with him, and he just acts like he's part of the road crew or whatever it is. Dude, we got backstage with Kiss. Now, Kiss has 400 layers of security.
Yeah.
And Randy's like, fuck, we can get back. I was like, dude, we're not going to get fucking back with Kiss. And he's like, oh, no, we'll get back, man. We'll get back. And we end up fucking literally walking right by Gene Simmons. What's up, Gene? How you doing? Right by him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because Randy just kept telling people, oh, no, we're here to... And Randy would just have an answer for every question. Where's your passes? Oh, I left it on the thing, and he knew guys' names and shit. He was like, yeah, Paul, the mic tech, told me to come back here and get an XLR 633. He would just throw out some bullshit, and the guy'd be like, oh, okay, well, where's your passes? Oh, I left them up on my kit. Randy would say, I left them up on my kit, and they'd be like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Because he looked the part.
Well, I looked the part.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, and there was one time I was at the Nautica stage.
Right.
And it was during the Rock Never Stops tour.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Vince Neil, Tesla, Rat, I think it was Firehouse.
Okay.
And somebody else. I can't remember. It was Slaughter or somebody.
Right.
And I didn't have tickets. I didn't have passes. I had nothing.
Right.
I was just wearing some old laminates around my neck.
Right.
And I walked up to the gate, and the guy saw me coming, and he just swung the gate open and let me walk right in. And then I went up to the side of the stage, and the guy at the side of the stage just stepped aside and let me walk up onto the side of the stage.
Yeah.
And I stood up there, and I watched Tesla. I watched Rat. I stood the side stage the entire time until Vince Neil came, and then, of course, it was clear everybody out.
Right.
No matter who you are.
See, you guys all had that look, though. I always look like I should be selling hot dogs.
So there's been times where I've just walked into places and they just step aside and open the gate.
Right.
Oh, here comes somebody. He looks like a rocker guy.
Yeah. Well, we've told that story before about when we were in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy just came up and handed you $20,000.
Yeah, he did. He goes, here's Dawkins' payout.
Didn't know if you were with Doc. He had no idea. We weren't even at Dawkins' trailer.
Nope.
We were outside. We were standing outside. Weren't we standing outside because we were waiting to see if Eddie Van Halen came out or something?
Well, we were standing on the little landing of one of the trailers there.
Yeah, and the guy just rolled up and handed you a check for $20,000.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's Don's payout.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. That was the fucking oddest thing. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, there's a part of me that's like, let's fucking go.
Yeah. Well, here's another weird one. I was at a place over near Wrigley Field that was called the Cubby Bear.
Okay.
And Dokken was playing there one night. Yeah. And Dave Steele, Fingers, was still managing them on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm just there as their friend.
Sure.
And Dave came down off the stage because he would do the keyboard part for Alone Again.
Okay.
He would play the keyboard part. And so he came around the side of the stage where the keyboards were.
Right.
And this security guard wouldn't let him through. Wouldn't let him through. He's the road manager, right?
And he's playing in the band.
Yeah. And the security guard is giving this guy shit.
Yeah.
And Dave looks over at me and he goes, tell this guy. And the guy comes over and he goes, who is this guy? And I said, oh, he's with the band, he's the manager. And he goes, oh, okay, well, as long as you said he's okay, it's good with me.
So funny.
It's like, well, you don't even know who I am.
Yeah. And it's not like you're one of those fucking faggy guys that like keeps every laminate you've ever had and wears it to every gig.
No.
You don't ever bring your laminates,
no,
do you?
Of course not. No.
And they're just hanging up somewhere. Or probably with you, they're thrown in a closet somewhere.
Well, they're actually hanging next to my all my stuff on my wall here.
Right. Yeah. So I mean that's.
But but Randy definitely had that gift of gab.
Yeah, I don't think he could do it now with the cut hair.
It's funny though.
I don't think he could do it. Do you?
No, but it's the whole confidence level. You have to look. You got the confidence. You look like you belong there.
And he knew what to say.
Sure.
I mean, he was talking out his ass. Just Mike up there and told me to go get an XLR 3260. And the fucking security guy, oh, okay, well, if Mike said to, and they don't even know who the fuck Mike is.
Right.
Mike was a made-up name, probably.
Sure.
And Randy was just, okay, and then they let him go back. Didn't he do that one time with us and he ended up on Bret Michaels' bus?
Yeah, well, that's the time that I'm talking about. It's that we were at the Poison show at Blossom, of all places.
Yeah.
And, Jizzy was singing with the LA Guns at the time.
Right.
And he's up there just schmoozing Jizzy. He says, come on, Jizzy, take us back, man. Take us back.
Right.
And so we ended up going back to the, to the meet and greet area or the big.
Yeah, the big lounge or whatever.
Exactly. And then that was the night that he ended up on Bret Michaels' bus.
Yeah, he just worked his way onto Bret's bus. And dude, there was another time at Blossom that him and we had seats that he had gotten from somebody, and we were in the front row. It was another one of these hair metal fests, and LA Guns was playing it. And the reason I know LA Guns was playing it was because Randy, when LA Guns played, Randy was like doing the finger point thing at Chuck Garrick. Remember Chuck Garrick?
Yeah, he was on the Shrinking Violet.
Shrinking Violet, and then he went on to be in Alice Cooper, right?
Right.
So he was doing the finger thing to Chuck Garrick, and Chuck Garrick was just, yay, what's up, buddy? Was into it, right? Well, after they finished playing, who comes out to the side of the stage but Chuck Garrick? And he fucking yells to Randy and is like, come on back. And so we went back, and when we hung out with Jizzy and the LA Guns crew, and I asked Randy at some point, I was like, how do you know Chuck? He's like, I don't know him. I was like, well, how the fuck did we end up backstage?
Yeah.
And it was literally from him just fucking acting like an idiot pointing at him.
Right.
It was just, Randy, whatever it is, Randy had it to do that. I never had it. I was always the guy there like, all right, you got to go. Oh, you do have a pass. You know, I was always that guy. The guy that was always fumbling in his pocket to pull out his pass.
Sure.
You know, they were always trying to throw me out, but Randy definitely could get back to any show.
Well, that was the same way that I got to meet Evel Knievel. Mm-hmm. You know, I acted like I belonged there and all that kind of stuff, and I went into the meet and greet or the after party after Robbie Knievel jumped the fountains at Caesar's Palace.
Right.
And nobody even questioned it.
That's funny.
I was just like, come on, let's go. Me and my friend Ted, we went to this thing, and it's just like, let's go. And we went into this thing, and we weren't even supposed to be there.
Right. But you got all the way in there.
We got in there. Got to hang out, have some food, had some drinks, got to meet Evel Knievel, got to hang out with Robbie Knievel.
See, that's the cool shit there.
Yeah.
When you get to meet somebody that you're just not supposed to meet.
Right.
And that our KISS experience was we got to meet Paul Stanley.
Sure.
We walked by Gene and said hello to Gene, but the funny part was we were afraid to approach Gene because we knew we'd get thrown out. But with Paul, you know, Randy, when he saw Paul, he walked right up on Paul and was like, hey, Paul, how are you, man? Can I take a picture with you? And Paul was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, and Paul took the picture. He didn't know what was going on. He just took the fucking picture. Probably thought Randy was security at the venue that just wanted a picture with him. And he took a picture with Randy, and I'm sure Randy has it somewhere, his picture with Paul Stanley.
Yeah.
But Randy just had that gift. And you have it, too, somewhat. Not like Randy.
No, not like Randy, but I'm not that big of a groupie like Randy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you never drove to Tennessee to see John Corabi either.
or go to Virginia to chase after John Corabi with Rat.
Yeah, exactly. With like $6 in your fucking pocket and nothing on your credit card to get home with.
Sure.
One of the all-time stories, him calling you, hey, buddy.
Sunday morning, dude. I'm in Monroe, Michigan. I need gas for my truck, man. I don't have any money. I can't get home.
Can I get a bag of chips,
Can I get a bag of chips, too? I need a tank of gas and a bag of chips.
So fucking funny.
It's like, what? Dude, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. What the fuck?
Only Randy, man.
Yeah.
But that's that guy, dude. I mean, he was somewhat stalkerish at times with the bands, but the bands, they loved him for a while. You know, like Sebastian. Sebastian loved him when he was being a groupie.
Sure.
When he was lugging gear and shit. You know, but then I'm sure Randy just wore on Sebastian because him and Sebastian are the same guy.
Right.
It's like Sebastian, for him to be next to Sebastian, it's like Sebastian looking in a mirror. You know, that had to be. Could you imagine those two in the same room?
Right.
Ooh, that had to. Well, you did that once, didn't you?
I did. I was in Columbus.
With both of them in the same room?
In the same bus.
Was that tough to take?
Well, it was, well, there was a lot of weed going on, which, you know, I'm not a fan of that. Right. But I was on the bus with Sebastian and Randy at a gig in Columbus, Ohio at the El Rosa.
Oh, my God.
And that Bam Bam Morris who died.
McConnell.
Yeah, he died
a
few years ago. He was the drummer at the time, and I got a picture of me in between Sebastian and this Bam Bam guy.
Right. But wow, there had to be a lot of 300-mile-an-hour talking going on at that.
Of course.
Oh, boy. I just got to tell you, Sebastian, you're one bad mother trucker.
Right.
Well, you're one bad mother trucker, too, Randy. Ugh, that would have made me ill.
But I did it.
Dude, one of my since we're telling Randy stories, this is one I don't think I've ever told, even you. Did I ever tell you about the most inappropriate thing that he fucking said?
No, what did he say?
We were backstage. We were hanging out at Slaughter. Slaughter was playing, what was that club? SOS Club or something? Remember that club in like Lakewood or Elyria or somewhere over there? Do you remember that club at all?
Not familiar with it, no.
I think it was called the SOS Club. I could be wrong on what the club was called. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was a Mitch show. And it was when I was working with Mitch. And it was Slaughter's first tour after Tim Kelly got killed. And me and Randy went, and Randy got really drunk.
Okay.
He was just drinking a ton. He was smoking a bunch of pot on the way to the show. Randy was all fucked up, right? Well, we got there, and Randy, the whole time, Randy's like, dude, I know you're good with Mitch, man. You got to get so we can meet the guys from Slaughter. We got to get so we can meet the guys with Slaughter. So, all right, dude, fine. Well, we got there, and Slaughter was selling, like, gear. And, like, you had to buy something to get it signed.
Sure.
So you had to buy, like, a drum head or a picture or something to get it signed. They weren't just signing random shit. Because they were, that was after Slaughter was, like, completely over. So Randy buys a drum head, and he goes back, and he gets the three guys to sign he gets Dana and Blass and Mark to sign the drum head. And then he walks up to Blando, and he's all fucked up, and he goes, dude, I thought you were killed in a car wreck.
Oh, my God.
He was so fucking high, he didn't remember that this was the replacement guy. But he totally said it loud, and it was at one of those table meet and greet type things. So the other three guys, of course, heard him say this.
And they, like, looked over and just like, what the fuck, dude?
The fucking room stopped.
Yeah.
The room stopped, and they just looked over at Randy. And Randy was like, oh, I mean, nice to meet you, man.
Oh, boy.
But he was just fried, and he just fucked up. It was just him just fucking up. But, oh, my God, was it funny. I just remember I busted up laughing, and that didn't go over real well either, that I fucking laughed, because I was like, come on, dude.
Yeah, really?
But he did. He said that, and I just fucking busted up laughing. But yeah, that's one of the all-timers with Randy, man.
Sure. Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Okay, just quickly, three things. Firstly, and I'll hang up and you guys can answer. Firstly, why do you think, because you were talking about Karabi earlier, why do you think, because you just went and saw Karabi, Chris, what do you think is the hold-up with him releasing the CD, DVD of the entire Motley Crue live album? Because he played it live with his son and they filmed it. Do you think that's to do with Motley holding up, or Nikki Sixx holding up that release? Secondly, Mark Slaughter's got a brand new solo album coming out. They announced today. Why do you guys think that there's not a new Slaughter album and it's another Mark Slaughter solo album? And thirdly, if I keep hearing about this guy Randy, how amazing he is, and he's telling me that he seems to have the real gift of the gab and knows how to get on with people and stuff, why do you think that he wasn't more successful in the music industry? Hail and kill. I'll let you guys answer.
Would you like to take any of those pieces, or would you like me to answer all three?
Well, I'll give my thoughts.
All right. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go?
I don't know the answer to all of them. I know I can only give you my thoughts on it.
All right. I know the answer to the Karabi one.
Okay, go ahead with that.
Because I just asked him about it on a week ago Monday.
All right, so you heard it from the horse's mouth.
It is coming out late this year. It's being held because of his Dead Daisies schedule and the Dead Daisies live release. Motley has no ability to hold that up.
Sure.
So it is coming out. It'll come out in the fall. The Dead Daisies live DVD that they just did, and I have it. It's actually really quite good. Comes out in May. So then they're going to wait a couple months, and then that's going to come out.
All right.
What was the second question, Slaughter?
Well, he asked why Mark Slaughter is releasing a solo album as opposed to a Slaughter album.
Okay.
And, why? Well, my answer to that would be Slaughter is probably not signed to any kind of a label, and Mark is probably releasing this independently.
Well, no, Mark actually signed to Dave Ellefson's label.
Yeah, but come on.
EMD Records or something.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, a label, not some indie thing. I'm not talking about, going with an indie label. Or Top Fuel Records or something.
He's putting it out solo because it's going to sell 3,000 copies. So why should he split the sales of 3,000 records 4 ways?
Yeah, well, that was my next point. That's what I was going to get to next. It's just like that. There was no deal to make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
To make it a band album.
Yeah.
And, number 2, the other guys from Slaughter have been playing with Vince Neil, and they're probably not recording at this point. They're just, it's just like, what's the point? Yeah, nobody's going to buy a Slaughter album. Come on.
They'll play their gigs, and that's that. And that's fine.
And then number 3, why hasn't Randy been more successful in the record industry or the music industry?
Yeah.
Well, Randy, as a quote-unquote vocalist musician, he comes off well as a
cover singer.
As a tribute singer.
Yes.
But the solo music, not so good.
Horrible.
Not so good. And that's not a knock on Randy as a person. It's just like as a tribute singer, as an Axl Rose impersonator, he did really well with that. But as a solo original artist guy, not so much.
I'll put it in even more stark reality terms. Wicked Heart was crummy. Mm-hmm. That was his band, and they sucked. They just weren't good. And then that's not all Randy's fault. I mean, that dude Roger, what a fucking creep that guy was. Guy just looked like he fucking raped children and hid them in the basement. But he definitely looked kind of odd, and I know you have stories about what a fucking weirdo he was, but if Randy had A-list talent, Randy would have been a star. Because in a crummy band, which he was in a crummy band that everybody hated, and they played every major gig there was to play because Randy was a hustler. Remember, they opened for big bands.
Yeah, he hustled a lot.
Yeah, he could convince anybody to let him play. And on ticket buys, on the shows where they had to buy tickets, Randy would just work overtime at his job
and just buy them all,
and just buy 100 tickets for Overkill or whatever. A band he shouldn't even have been on the stage with because it's not even the same kind of music. But Randy was like, I'm going to get 5 fans tonight, dude. I'm going to win over 5 of these guys tonight. Randy would buy 100 fucking tickets for $2,500, and then he wouldn't sell a fucking one of them. He would just give them away to all his buddies because he wanted his friends to go. And then like 6 of those people would go.
Sure.
The worst part was because they were free, and nobody put value in free. They never do. But Randy got as far as he could with a bad band and limited talent. When Randy found his niche as a singer, when he was doing the Axl Rose, he became a national touring musician that got national coverage because he was talented. He was very talented as Axl Rose, and he looked the part. And I mean, you saw the gig, didn't you?
I did. I was on the Fake Fest thing because Ralph Saines, who is fronting Steel Panther, he was still doing the Atomic Punks, the tribute to Van Halen at the time. Yeah. And I was pretty good friends with him at the time. And when he came into Cleveland and Pittsburgh, I traveled with them.
Randy was so good at the Axl. He was just too tall. That was the only thing that was a little odd with Randy. I mean, Randy dyed his hair red.
Yeah, he went kind of a reddish color.
He went to the Axl color, and he wore the right bandanas, and he wore the right clothes, and he studied DVDs. Like he literally, if you watched him perform, and then you watched like the Use Your Illusion DVD, he did in the same spots, the same axle moves.
Which, by the way, I gave him my Use Your Illusion DVD, or it wasn't a DVD, it was actually a VHS.
Okay, yeah.
I gave him my VHS of the Use Your Illusion tour.
To study?
To study, and I never got it back.
Of course not. Well, he's not going to give it back to you, dude. That was research.
Yeah.
But he was damn good. Really good at it. But he always wanted to do his own thing. If Randy was stuck with that, he probably would have made himself $1 million. Especially with the way tribute acts are treated these days. You know, a fucking Led Zeppelin tribute comes here and they sell tickets for $30 a piece. You know, and they travel all over the country. You know, Randy would have, a Guns N' Roses tribute, especially with Guns N' Roses coming back, would have done well. You know. But Randy, yeah. Don't you have his demo over there? The Buds demo? Do you have it?
I'll have to look here. Let me see.
I know it's on the hard drive.
Yeah, I have it. I'm just going to see what it's under. What is it under? Is it just under Randy Trask?
Yeah, I'm sure it's there with the I'm gonna roll coast.
Mm-hmm.
And it all is a game, and you ain't gotta play.
Here it is.
All right, play a little. Don't play Roller Coaster right away. We'll end this segment with Roller Coaster because that's my jam. Any jam with a banjo is okay with me.
All right. Well, here's one. It's called 2LTFT4GBS. What does that mean?
What is it?
It's the number 2,
mm-hmm.
the letter L,
mm-hmm.
T as in Tom, 4 GBS.
I have no idea.
All right, we'll play it anyway.
All right, let's hear that.
It's probably too late for
goodbyes.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Notice Randy uses a lot of reverb.
A lot of reverb.
Lots of reverb.
No dry vocal there.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's a tough one to put out there.
All right. Here, the next one is called Been So Long.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one. This is an old Wicked Heart tune, I believe.
Okay. Randy's been wasted a long time.
Apparently when he was recording this song.
Right. All right. We got a choice of Just a Game, Rock and Roll Heaven, and Roller Coaster.
Well, we're saving Roller Coaster for last. Go with Rock and Roll Heaven first, and then Just a Game, because I know all these. These are all 3 jewels, but I'm trying to give them to you in the right order.
Sure. Hail and Kill Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, you've answered my question. That guy's got about as much pitch as a bad salesman. Oh my God. Oh God. All right, hail and kill.
Says the keyboardist at the mall.
Yeah. That wasn't nice.
It's fact, though.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Stan the Man with the master plan.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He worked in Stan the Man.
I know. But see, lots of reverb. No matter how bad of or good of a singer you are, you can always sound okay with reverb.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of reverb.
I had forgotten that he threw that Stan the Man line in there.
Stan the Man.
For people that don't know, Stan the Man is his friend.
Yeah.
His friend Stan. What does Stan do? Is he a booker, or is he the guy that built the chair and everything?
Well, no. Here's
that's Ron Finch, right?
No. Here's the whole Stan the Man thing.
Yeah. What did he do?
Well, Stan the Man, I guess he fancied himself as some kind of a promoter.
Okay.
And when Sebastian Bach, because there's always going to be a Sebastian Bach reference, came to the States. Sebastian Bach is Canadian.
Okay.
When Sebastian Bach first came to the U.S. with Madam X, they just basically came across the Windsor Bridge there in Detroit.
Right.
And that's where the Stan the Man guy is from.
Okay.
So supposedly the Stan the Man was like one of the first people that, got to know Sebastian as a vocalist back in the day.
Okay.
And I guess he kind of helped promote the band and whatnot.
Right.
So when Randy met the Stan the Man guy when he was hanging out at Harpo's.
Right. He thought he was a hero.
Well, yeah, because he knew Sebastian Bach back when.
Right.
And of course the Stan the Man guy, he was one of these local guys that kind of got to know a lot of bands that came through town.
Sure, okay.
And so he was going to help Randy launch his career.
With the master plan.
Yeah. And that's when he got Randy to buy all the promotional merchandise, the golf towels and the laminates. Remember those laminates? They were like about 7 inches long and about 5 inches wide.
Right.
You remember that shit? And then he bought all this merch off this guy. This guy produced this merch.
That's when he had Bree working for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, in that same time frame. Well, Randy interviewed this Stan the Man guy. He interviewed him over the phone.
Yeah.
And he called him long distance. Okay. And he ran up like a $500 phone bill. A $500 long distance phone bill interviewing this joker.
Randy.
Stan the man with the master plan.
Dude, there are so many Randy stories. You could tell we could do 6 hours on Randy.
Easily.
Dude, the Bree stuff. Randy, and I love telling Randy stories. So Randy, I hope when you hear this, you're not mad. Randy was, let's be honest. Randy was when Wicked Heart, which was his main band, he had a band called Apparition that I don't remember. Do you remember Apparition?
No, I didn't meet Randy until the Wicked Heart days.
I had an Apparition tape because Randy gave it to me, and I'm sure I still have it here somewhere, autographed by Randy. But then he formed Wicked Heart. And Wicked Heart was him and this fucking weirdo named Roger. And then a rolling cast of the other two guys. Because he never had a lineup. Did he? Didn't he always change, like...
Well, he was always changing the drummer and the guitarist.
Yeah, because those guys would come in, they would see that the band wasn't doing anything, and they would split.
Sure.
You know, that's what was going on. And none of those guys were any good either. You know, I'm not trying to say that they were like quality musicians that came in and were like, what the fuck? They were a bunch of hillbillies too. You know, but Randy couldn't keep a lineup together at all. But even and it was legendary with Randy that he presented himself like Wicked Heart was like a big deal.
Yeah.
He literally presented himself like, at the time, the big bands around were like Mushroom Head and Spawn and
Peace Tree,
Crypt Kicker. Those were the big Cleveland bands. And to talk to Randy, Wicked Heart was in that realm, that they were the same. Randy would just tell these stories all the time and talk to people like Wicked Heart was in that world. Well, at one point, Randy, he was like, dude, you got to come out to this gig. You gotta come out. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, put me on a list for whatever, you know, and I'll come out. And, you know, so it was at Ron's Crossroads, which was one of my favorite clubs of all time. Loved that place. But Randy says, okay, dude, I'll take care of it. So like 10 minutes later, I get a phone call. Hi, this is Bree. I'm Randy's personal assistant.
Yeah.
And I was like, Randy who? You know? Because I was like, Randy Trask? And she was like, yeah, I'm Randy's assistant. I'm calling to see how many tickets you need. Because Randy said that I should take care of you any way you need. And I was like, okay, well, I need one. Okay, well, you'll be on Mr. Trask's list.
I got a couple of those phone calls, too.
It was ridiculous. So I go to Ron's Crossroads, and thank God I was on the list, because I wouldn't have been able to get into that place like I knew the owners and drank with them all the time, right? But thank God I was on the list. So I get into the into the club, and then fucking we're in the backstage area. Did you ever go to the backstage area at Ron's Crossroads?
Yeah, it was about the size of a closet.
Yeah, it was tiny. But we're in this fucking closet, and Bree is in there, and Randy just out of the blue is like, oh, show him your ass. And I was like, what? He's like, show him your ass, and she's fucking whipping up her skirt and showing me her ass, and she's pulling her tits out. I was like, what the fuck am I into here?
Yeah, the whack ass thing about this Bree chick.
Yeah.
I think she was a natural brunette.
Okay.
And she bleached her hair as bleach blonde as Madonna back in the, early days.
Right, sure.
Bleach blonde. Mm-hmm. And she had almost charcoal black eyebrows.
Right.
I mean, it just looked really fucky. She had this almost bleach blonde, almost white blonde hair.
Right.
And then these charcoal black eyebrows.
Right.
And I was just like, what the hell?
She was cute though.
Eh.
The eyebrows were off-putting. I agree with you there. The eyebrows were very weird when you saw this fucking almost glow-in-the-dark white hair. You know, she had like bleachy white hair and then dark eyebrows. It was kind of weird looking. But she was hot otherwise, and she was in my zone. She's like 5'2", 115 pounds, you know, with big tits. I mean, she was hot. So then the whole rest of the night, she was buying me drinks, and she was like, Mr. Trask told me to put all your drinks on his tab. Well, okay, great. And then, so bad. So, like, a week later, Randy shows up at the house, and he goes, dude, you sure drank a lot that night. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you ran up about a $75 part. And I was like, do you want me to pay it? And he's like, no, dude, you were my guest, but I guess I didn't explain to Bree that you know, it's not an open bar like that. And he was just going, it wasn't that he was upset about me drinking or anything or him paying the bar tab or whatever. It was that Bree didn't understand his message.
Right.
He hadn't reined in his personal assistant.
Oh my God.
Randy was a trip, man. Bree did not last long.
No, but the thing is he was paying her.
Yeah, he was paying her. Yeah, she wasn't doing it because she wanted to blow him or something.
Yeah, and she left a message for me one time on a Saturday afternoon. I wasn't home or something, and it was still when Randy was still kind of doing a co-host gig with me.
Right.
And she left a message. It's like, hi, this is Bree. I'm Randy's personal assistant. He wanted to let you know that he had to work today and that he had a late night or something to the other, and he's going to go home and grab a nap, so he might be like an hour or so late to the show tonight. So don't expect him at 8 o'clock, you know, because he'll be a little bit late because he's having to get some rest and blah, 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 but he'll be at the show. So don't worry about that. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Like, who are you? And yeah, in our world, we're buds. He can call me.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I said to him when he did show up. I said, who the fuck is this Bree, and why can't you pick up the phone and call me yourself?
Yeah. It's like, come on, dude. I know, it was very off-putting when he would have Bree make a phone call to us.
It's like, dude, I'm your friend. You don't have your personal assistant call me.
I'm quite sure that Sebastian Bach, with his personal friends, doesn't have his assistant call him. He calls him himself. It says, hey, you coming out tonight? Cool.
Right.
He was trying to be a rock star. That was what Randy was trying to do.
I understand. Believe me, I get it. But it was just like, that's just bizarre.
It was. It was funny.
Bizarre. That's our buddy Randy.
Love Randy.
Yeah.
Do we have one more song before Roller Coaster or no?
We just have Just a Game or Roller Coaster.
Well, let's do Just a Game, just a little piece of that so we could get that one out of the way, and then we'll end with a full version of Roller Coaster.
Okay. Well, here's a song called Just a Game. This is Randy and the Buds.
All right.
Don't you know it's a game? Just a thing called life we play. Can't you hear us sing a word? Then I say, don't you know it's a game? Just a thing called life we play. Can't you hear us sing a word? Then
Lots of reverb.
That's probably the best song that he did.
Everything's got reverb on it.
Dude, do you remember? I know he told this story to you, and he told it to me, and I know you were with him 36 times when he told it to everybody else, because he told it word for word the same. When he would show off that tattoo of his, yeah, this is Dust in Our Bones.
Yeah, Dust in Our Bones.
Dust in Our Bones. And Dust in Our Bones is our mascot.
And he would come out kind of like what Iron Maiden would do. And he would dress up as Dust in Our Bones with an axe.
With an axe and a big block of wood.
Yeah, he had a big, he had like a half of a tree stump. And he would come out there and he would take his axe and he would whack on that wood.
Yeah, trying to whack through that tree stump.
Yeah.
I'll give it to Randy. He tried, man.
He really tried.
I know we're busting his balls here because he really just didn't have the voice for it. But, and I mean, he still does the buds. I mean, he still sings. He still does this. He loves it. And good for him that he enjoys it and whatnot. But I'll say this about Randy. What he lacked in talent, he sure fucking made up for in hustle. Because he really tried hard. Dude, I remember seeing him. We were at, what was that place out there in Eastlake or wherever that he used to play all the time?
Geneva on the Lake.
Not that far.
The Cove?
It was somewhere closer, and it had like almost like a house, like a rail that you would put on a porch on a house in front of the stage. And it was like a one step up, and it had this fucking rail in front of it.
Well, I thought that was Geneva on the Lake.
No, that's way far out there. It was some other place. I forget what the place was called. But, or maybe that was Geneva and the other one is the Cove.
The Cove, right? Same thing.
No, then that's not right. It was a place in, like, Eastlake or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But, anyway, Randy came out one time I saw him. They were opening for Gear, another great band from the time, allegedly. But Gear were my friends. So they were playing this gig, and Randy asked me if I could get them on the gig. And I was like, yeah. There might have been 13 people in the bar. Maybe. I mean, could not have been 20. No fucking way. Randy comes out. He has these smoke machines going, fucking smokes out the entire bar. Because he didn't know how to work the smoke machines. Like, he bought them at like a discount drug mart or something.
Okay.
I mean, they weren't like professional quality ones. They were like some cheap shit that you could get for like 20. I know he bought them at like discount drug mart because I remember him calling me and saying, dude, they got these smoke machines, man. So I bought 4 of them. So he bought like 4 of these smoke machines. And he smoked out the entire fucking club. Well, then he comes out and he's doing his Dust in Our Bones and he's creeping up on this fucking thing with the axe and whatnot. And he starts whacking on the thing. And the way the bit worked was he would hit the axe like 3 or 4 times. And on the 4th time, he would hit it really hard and it would stick in the wood.
Right.
And when he hit it that 4th time, he had like pyropods that were going to go up. And I'll tell you what, this was before the fucking Great White Fire.
Mm-hmm.
But Randy did not know what he was doing packing these fucking things. And he did the thing, and his guy hits the fucking button or whatever to blow these things up, and it was like, boom! I was like, what the fuck? You know, it was like the loudest explosion inside the bar.
Yeah, concussion. They were concussion bombs.
Yeah, with 15 fucking people in it. And it was like, boom! And, you know, and you couldn't even, it made a shit ton of smoke on top of already the shit ton of smoke. You couldn't even see that there was a band or Randy or anything.
Yeah.
It was just smoke. And until we heard noise, we thought he was dead.
Right.
Because the band, I think it surprised the band. And so they didn't start playing. You know, I think it was so fucking powerful that the band was like, what the fuck? You know, and didn't start playing right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started playing. And they're like, all right, well, I guess that's okay.
Right.
And then eventually the smoke let out. And by about the last song, we could see Randy. But, Had some adventures with that dude, man.
Sure.
I love Randy. He's a good dude, man.
Well, we haven't even gotten into the whole Miss Wicked Heart deal.
Well, let's do that now.
All right. So there was this girl.
Yeah.
Beautiful girl.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was Andy Storm.
Yes. Love me some Andy Storm.
Beautiful girl. Got in big trouble with this girl, me personally.
Yeah.
This is when I had started the CMS in 96. This girl, Andy Storm, she listened to my show because I was on FM radio. And she used to listen to the show, and she was a big fan of the music and everything. And she called up one day, and she was just like, hey, I can't find anything about you online. And I said, well, I don't have a website. This is before I met you.
Right, sure.
And she goes, well, I kind of dabble with websites, this and that. She goes, I could build you a website. I said, well, yeah, if you want to, get involved with that, sure. So I let her build the original CMS website.
Right.
And then shortly after that, then I started getting into T-shirts and stuff.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I had an initial run of like 25 shirts made.
Sure.
And she was going to post them on the site. And she goes, well, wouldn't it be better if somebody was modeling these shirts?
Right.
And I said, yeah, absolutely. So she goes, well, I could model the shirts for you if you want. So I said, yeah, sure. No big deal, So she wore one of these CMS shirts, and I took some photos of her. Mm-hmm. And she posted them on the website. Well, I was involved with a girl at the time, and she just had a shit fit about that.
Oh, yes, she did.
Why did you have her model the shirts? Why didn't you ask me to do that? And blah, blah, blah. Why? It never even dawned on me. It wasn't even a thought. It was just like this girl offered. She's the webmaster. She has access to all the stuff. Just get it done and get it out there.
Right.
That's my thought. There was no, thought of
bang this chick, so I'll have her be my model.
Not at all.
No.
So of course that was an issue. Well, after I got to know her a little bit, she was friends with A&R guy John Kolodner.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that guy's a big name in the business, or was a big name in the business. And so of course once Randy was involved and he found out that she kind of had a hookup with somebody in the business,
right?
He wanted to meet her.
Of course.
Well,
that was his gateway to getting Wicked Heart signed.
Exactly. So somewhere along the way, she came out to some show. I don't know if it was the Poison show, the Poison tour or something, but regardless of that, he got to know her on a first name basis and whatnot. And granted, she's a very attractive woman, very, very beautiful girl.
Just called her. She was a piece of ass.
Yeah, she's hot.
She's really hot.
Mm-hmm. So Randy, I don't know where he got this idea from, but he wanted to have this quote unquote this beauty contest.
Right. Because that was what was missing from Wicked Heart.
So he was promoting this beauty contest to be crowned Miss Wicked Heart.
Right.
And he scheduled this whole concert thing at the Cove out in Geneva on the Lake, which is way the fuck out away. It's 60 miles east of Cleveland along the lake shore, out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, people in Cleveland, just to be clear, Randy was from Akron. So Akron is like 20 miles south of Cleveland, right? 20, 25?
Yeah, 25 to 30 miles.
So Randy scheduled this show to be 60, 70 miles east of Akron or of Cleveland. So by the time you would drive up to get onto any road that would go east, you had to put in another 20. So you're talking 80 to 100 miles. About the distance to my pinball place from here.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-hour drive to go to this thing.
Yeah, it was almost at the PA-Ohio line, way out on the east end of Ohio.
Right.
And he rented out the whole club.
Yeah, which is a big room.
Yeah. And he was putting on this show to crown Miss Wicked Heart.
Right.
And at this point, I was probably 3 years in on the CMS.
Okay, yeah.
And the little radio station I worked at basically served Akron and southeast Cleveland at the most. It wasn't a strong signal. It was about 1,000 watts.
Yeah, about 15 miles.
Yeah, a little longer than that. It served kind of like western Youngstown, Akron, and southeastern Cleveland. So it served a fairly okay market, but it wasn't huge.
I couldn't pick it up here in Twinsburg.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. It was goofy that I couldn't pick it up, but Cleveland could.
Right. So he wanted me to come out as the quote unquote this radio star. this host of the classic metal show, because I was the MC.
Right.
And I was going to MC this Wicked Heart show and crown this unknown, quote unquote, unknown female,
right,
as Miss Wicked Heart.
Right.
But it was already predetermined that it was going to be Andy Storm.
Right. He already had his winner picked.
Yeah. So there was really no contest per se. And she came out to the show, very good-natured, wearing heels, this tight form-fitting dress.
Right.
He had this whole sash made up for her like it was a Miss America contest, had this big bouquet of roses.
Right.
all this other stuff. And he's crowning this girl Miss Wicked Heart in front of 20 people. It was just like, what are you doing?
And meanwhile, you had to get up there and go, what do you guys think?
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is part of the component was that there was a wet T-shirt contest. I mean,
right.
And there was like maybe 3 chicks, maybe 4 chicks. I think 3 or 4 chicks total involved with this.
Right.
And they were also quote unquote competing for the Miss Wicked Heart contest.
Right.
Oh my! It was just so. I just can't even. But
who poured the water on the chicks?
Well, I did, and Randy did, and the band members did, and it was so awkward.
Well, it's awkward because the 3 girls and you two up there on the stage, and the band was like 3/4 of the audience.
Mm-hmm. It was the strangest deal, and it's like, and of course, this whole deal had a lot to do with Stan the Man.
Of course.
Because, a lot of this had to do with the promotion of the band and,
it's part of the master plan.
Yeah, taking it to the next level. And, I agreed to be a part of it because, Randy was a friend and, so.
And did Stan come to this?
No, of course not.
I was going to say, come on.
So it was just a very awkward thing.
Randy does some crazy shit, dude. You've seen the chair, haven't you? The new rock and roll chair?
No, I have not.
Oh, my God, dude. I got to find that for you. You've seen the Game of Thrones chair? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I know what that is, yes.
Well, now Randy has a chair that's for his shows. It's a big, tall chair, but it looks kind of like the Game of Thrones chair.
What, is it like the Axl Rose chair because he broke his leg?
No, it's just a big chair. And it looks like the Game of Thrones chair, except it has, like, pipes on it from, like, trucks.
Okay.
And all kinds of metal fucking stuff on it or whatnot. It's a crazy-looking thing. I got to find it. Let me see here. Randy Trask. If I find it real quick, I'll post it in the chat room. But, yeah, he got this fucking chair made by his friend Rob Finch or whatever his name is. Here, is this it? Let's see. I'm looking for just the chair, but it seems like there's people sitting in the chair. Well, you can see it with Randy sitting in the chair. Here we go. Let me copy image address. Let me see if I can't put this in the chat room. Wait till you see this fucking chair. It's like, dude, what are you doing? But he's got his chair, his rock and roll chair. Let's see if it posts. There it is. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's got big truck pipes on it. So what's the purpose of this?
I don't know. I have no idea what the purpose is of the chair. But it has those big pipes, and he brings it out to shows. And
why is he sitting down on the stage to begin with?
I don't know. Dude, I have no idea what he's doing with it. Oh, here's a good shot of the chair. All right, hold on. Wait till you see the chair. Copy image address. I love the chair. I again love Randy to death. I know we're fucking killing him tonight, but yeah, you know what it is? It's something that people will give attention to. And for Randy, he's trying to promote his band. I think that's the purpose of the chair. There's the chair. With no one sitting in it.
Wow.
If you click it, you can see there's like a blue guitar and some speaker things.
Wow.
I mean, it's the chair. It's the rock and roll chair.
Wow. Not exactly sure what you can do with that, but
I don't know. You like the keyboard footrest?
yeah, I see that.
It's great. Yeah, I have no trumpet like armrests. I don't know what you do with the chair, but he brings it out to shows. I mean, there it is at a show.
Well, that's quite a monstrosity.
Must have to rent a bigger trailer just to take the chair out with him.
Yeah. Wow, it's got it almost looks like bass necks or something crisscrossing back there. Wow.
It's quite the chair, right?
That is quite the chair. Not exactly sure what to make of it, but it is the chair.
That's his latest thing, the chair.
Okay.
The rock and roll chair.
All right. Well, I guess it depends on what does it do? It's you just sit there on it or what?
I don't think it makes noise. I think he sits there on it.
Okay.
I wonder if I have not seen the buds. Maybe the buds do the dust in our bones thing, but now just the smoke comes out of the smokestacks of the chair, and Dustin just sits there before jumping off and whacking the wood with the axe.
I don't know.
That would be a good act.
I'd like to see diesel smoke come pouring out of those stacks.
The chair.
Wow. Okay.
I love it. But you know what, dude? Well, again, we're goofing on him and whatnot. You got to give it to this dude for his commitment to this shit. The dude is our age now, and he's still trying to make it, and he's still trying to do it. And he's out there hustling. He's not just still in a band. He's still trying to do something to generate attention so people will pay attention to his band.
Sure.
So, I respect it. I wish Randy's a guy. Tell me if you think the same way with this. Don't you wish that Randy had just a little more talent so that he could have made it? Just because he's such a good dude and because he tried so hard?
Yeah. Because he's got the passion and the drive and the the dream of doing it.
He is the kind of guy that should have made it, while a guy like Bret Michaels should never have made it.
Right.
Because that guy's a turd and has made it huge. And Randy, with his passion for it, I don't think Randy would have ever turned into a rock star. Do you?
No, he just lived for the experience.
Yeah, I don't think if Randy would have made $100 million, I don't think Randy would have cared. Randy would have a whole arsenal of these chairs.
Sure.
That's all he would do.
Yeah.
He would just build more chairs. Because that's who he was. That's who he is. Yeah, the chair is something, though.
I guess I'd have to understand what the premise is behind that.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't.
Another bizarre thing.
Another Randyism.
All right, well, let's play his Boss Hitbound single, Roller Coaster. We'll take a short break and we'll come back.
All right.
So here's Randy and the Buds.
Yes.
And this is the big tune, the Roller Coaster song we love so much.
This is the hit, baby. Banjo solos rule.
Yeah, absolutely. Hail and Kill Caller, you're on the air.
Randy could probably make it if he got some vocal lessons.
All right, Tim. Tell him she got to go.
Hang on.
Are you calling
All right,
from
and
the
the
bathroom
reason-
again, Tim?
Yeah, I'm in the bathroom.
I figured as
reason,
much.
The reason why Brett Michaels made it is because Brett Michaels hustled and just had a little bit more pitch, you know, and probably had some better songs. But I reckon somebody as determined as Randy could do it if he just got a few vocal lessons. He'd probably be fine.
No. Not at all.
He's calling from the bathroom.
Not at all. Do you think vocal lessons would be
no.
great?
There's a lot of things that go into it. It's timing, it's right place, right time, right promotion, right era.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of things. It's, you know, Poison isn't an exceptionally talented band at all, but they were at the right place at the right time.
Sure.
And they had a certain image. They didn't get popular on their songs. They got popular on their image.
Sure.
And it just was at the right time. That was it.
Yeah.
If Poison were to try to break out today, never would happen.
No. And Randy was. He was 10 years late for the style of music he was playing. But he just, you know, he did find his niche. He just didn't want to do his niche.
Mm-hmm.
Was being fucking Axl Rose impersonator.
Right.
He was fucking great at that. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, he was great. I saw several shows.
Me too, and he was fantastic with it. If he would have kept on doing it, don't you think he would be now like these Zeppelin guys or whatever?
He could have easily had some kind of a residency in Vegas at one of these, like, you know, rock vault things or whatever.
Absolutely. And he could have been making, you know, $2,000-$3,000 a week doing it for the rest of his life, really, until he got too old. You know, he could have definitely gone to, you're right, he could have gone to Vegas and had a nice residency going for 5 shows a week or something. And he would have made a fortune. But it wasn't what he wanted to do. He wanted to go at it with his personal music.
Sure.
All right, enough Randy. Let's play some Roller Coaster.
Let's play some Roller Coaster. We'll play a couple tunes. We'll be back. Here it is. It's Randy Trask and the Buds with Roller Coaster exclusively here
on your classic metal show.